Welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush.
And welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. We are absolutely killing it right now. We're up to 8.7 million viewers / listeners in 18 countries and 182 cities throughout the world. So we're doing really well, and we're excited with how everything's been going. We're grateful for all the guests that we have on, including a special guest we have on today, Gira, who I went to college with at University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. She was a star tennis player, played pretty much tennis her whole entire lifetime, and has done so much more after that as well. And I think she continues to coach talent that is going into the tennis world. So yeah, we're gonna have Gira on here. I'm gonna get her connected, but just want to give that quick introduction and welcome back. Oh, I had a movie audition, so Indiana Jones. If you had a caramel son, it'd be me. All right, let's see. Let me pause this real quick. And here is here. I just want to show you guys this 8 million real quick. Hold on a second. About the wait, there we go. Uh-oh. Nope. Gotta go over 2 more. Yep, there's that 8 million that I mentioned earlier. We're doing all right. And here comes Gira. Oh, I like your photo.
No. Hey.
Gee, what is up? Looking gorgeous as ever.
Thanks.
What is the secret? I mean, because it's your healthy lifestyle of living, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. I've always been catered to that, but I would say I've been on Corella and Wuji Corella and Wuji Spirulina basically my whole life.
Holy smokes. You look great. You look like same as you did in college. Even you keep getting gorgeous. Like you're always been gorgeous, but you keep looking better and better.
I'm aging well.
Yeah, better than well. In fact, it seems like you're reverse aging.
Yeah, maybe also because I don't have kids yet to stress me out. So
yeah, true. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'm the cool uncle. I think you have 2 brothers, don't you?
Yeah.
Do they have kids?
Yeah, my brother. One of them do.
How many kids does he have?
3.
So you're like the cool auntie, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, gee, it's gonna be just me today. Welcome to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush on today.
Awesome.
And gee, first off, yeah, I just want to say that real quick, but no, get back to hold on a second. It's good to see you. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, it has. So is it normally you and your mom then doing the podcast?
Yeah. Me and my mom do it because I'll have you back on. Everybody that comes on, I have back on. So sometimes it's me and my mom. Sometimes it's just me because it's gonna be back and forth. It's usually Brandon Rush and Mama Rush, but it's been both because sometimes I'm traveling for work or sometimes she has something she has to do. So it's sometimes just me. I figured it'd be just me today, but Mom would love to meet you.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'll have you back on.
Cool.
She likes some of the time she comes on. She likes to she'll see people stuff and then she'll come on. Almost with everybody, she will have me do one-on-one and then it just depends.
Yeah, I got you. That's awesome. Right. How did you get started?
Literally just 2 months ago. Crazy story. Just 2 months ago, we have 8.7 million viewers / listeners in 18 countries and 182 cities.
Wow.
I'm pushing it hard.
Yeah.
But
that's amazing.
Thank you, G. Thank you. I mean, not everybody calls Gira, but G, I give you nicknames and stuff like that. Yeah. So I just started it 2 months ago. This isn't about me though. I want it to be about you. We're doing fine. Let's talk about you. We're doing good on our end. I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Gira, you said that first off, you launched your own podcast too, or you have 2 of them. You have a lot of stuff going on.
I have a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Let's hear all about it.
I'm doing all the things, a true entrepreneur.
Yeah. I love that though.
Yeah. So I'm coaching tennis. I had to take a break because of my back. But I'm back on the court and now I'm working for, let me just put my phone on silent real quick.
Okay.
Now I am working for a nonprofit called Serve the Future, where we get to help underprivileged kids get a chance to play tennis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's really exciting. Some of these kids, they have no support, they have nothing. And so they, come to us and get to have more of that support system, and even just a chance to, play tennis,
Yeah.
because they don't have the equipment or anything. And this last May, we had like 8 people go to state for
Holy
high school
smokes.
states. Yeah. So it's a
Awesome.
yeah, relatively new, serve the future in Phoenix, Arizona. I think Leslie Banks, she started it about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, she's amazing. And I love the program, and it allows me to be on court again, which I really missed.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I have a spiritual business, and then I also started a podcast, Holistic Tennis Performance, and it's really catered to mental toughness. But now I'm also looking to go more to the interviewing aspect and hearing people's stories and the positives, the opportunities that sports give people, but also the negatives. There's a lot
Yeah.
of negative culture in sports too. So being able to share those stories with people is just amazing. And that's new. Like that literally just started like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. So that is really, really new out of the gate. And then I also work part-time for my family's business in the company Wuji, Corella, and Spirulina. It changed my dad's life taking it. He had chronic constipation, digestive issues. And so they were on the search for something more natural, and that's how they came across it. And it had such a found impact on his life that they started their own company. So, yeah.
Man, G, you hit me with a lot, which I'm glad. No. I want to catch everything. And guess what? We're gonna hit all of that. I have as much time as you want today, so there's no
Okay.
time limit on you.
Yeah.
I did, because you mentioned that from the start. And then I'm gonna
Yeah.
get to what I love, what you're doing with the kids. That's one of our big missions here. So I will get to that. But I want to talk about your parents' company. And you said Spirilla, and I don't want to say the name again because I'm gonna butcher it and it's gonna sound
It's
awful.
okay. Spirulina and Corella. A
Okay.
lot of people say cholera, but it's not cholera. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Um, it's a superfood. It's a green algae, so it's a complete food. You get all your essential amino acids, your multi-minerals, and vitamins. And the difference between the two, to kind of simplify, it's like taking one is kale and one is broccoli. You're
Okay.
going to get, a lot of nutritional benefits from both, just like a little bit different on, how, one may have more B vitamin, one may have more, C, but you're
Yeah.
still getting a lot of the same benefits. So
Okay.
yeah, it's really, I would say spirulina is more known. A lot of the smooth, like those blue smoothies that you see.
Oh yeah, I do see those.
Yeah, so any of those blue Asiables, they're using spirulina to create that color.
Really?
Yeah. So it's in a lot of the smoothie places.
Okay.
Yeah, more and more. But yeah, it's been around for forever, and it's really healing. It's great. Obviously, each person is a little bit different, but Corella's known to detox the body. So
Okay.
any like heavy metals, any digestive issues, it really helps pull out your toxins, because if you don't know, your immune system is actually in your gut. So
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, everything starts in your gut. So clean
Okay.
out your gut, a lot of health issues, inflammation will go away, and Corella is great for that. And then spirulina, which you might like if you're still going to the gym hard like you used to.
Yeah.
Spirulina is actually great for muscle recovery.
Yeah.
It's natural. And I used to take it actually when I played professional tennis. Before my workouts, I'd take that in tablet form and eat a banana and have like amazing workouts without all the extra like caffeinated stuff and all like the just a more natural way to get benefits than all the all the protein stuff, like the protein drinks that they have today.
Yeah. Man, G. Okay, no wonder. Like, I can tell you just from what you said there, my mom's gonna be on here next time. I have to have you back probably like next week.
Okay.
Because she's gonna have questions for days about that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible that you said that, because I didn't know that about the gut. One of my friends that came on here, his name's Rob Gregg. He's the
Yeah.
owner of Wear Stand, one of the shoe companies we're sponsored by.
Mm-hmm.
His wife works with a gut, and his wife is a doctor that works with gut stuff. And we never put those two and two together because I haven't had her on yet.
Yeah.
But you're the first person that he mentioned some stuff about the gut, but you were the one that really touched on it.
Okay.
And wow, and your parents' company's name is they can order this online. Can people order that?
Yeah, it's all online. We don't have a brick and mortar. It's called Wuji, WUJI, life, LIFE.com, wujilife.com.
Okay, perfect. I wanted you to
Yeah.
get that name out there. Gee,
Yeah.
you've always been like, I love you, first off.
I love you too. Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming on today. Like, I really appreciate it. Like when I saw
Oh,
that you had that.
absolutely.
Yeah. You've always, since I've known you, and I've known you, you look great. I think I've known you for almost 18 years,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Crazy.
And I say you look amazing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna quit hitting on you. So,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I know. I wanted you to talk about that. I'm glad you had that on there because that's gonna be a big. I know my mom's have all kinds of questions about that, and people are too. So that's one thing for sure. I want to talk about you. A couple things here. You've always been about that healthy living and that healthy, would it be considered holistic? Would that be the word or no?
Yeah, holistic for sure.
Okay, because I can't even talk right. You got me all nervous. You've been about that. Even like you told me about I remember I used to joking about the grass-fed stuff.
Yeah.
And then the coffee with butter, bullet coffee was you like with soy? Was it with soy that you used to
I mean, pretty close. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't drink coffee anymore, but when I was a heavy coffee drinker, I did the whole like bulletproof almond milk and all that jazz with the butter and
yeah. You're the first person to put me onto that game of that. Yeah.
Cool.
Now, do you do mushroom coffee at all now, or no? Or is it just spirilla and something else now?
Yeah, I do a little bit mushroom coffee. I do more what is called adaptogenics. So really helping your nervous system.
Okay.
Mushrooms do help that, but a lot of them it's catered to the brain.
Okay.
Whereas adaptogenics is more, it can be catered to the brain, but overall the nervous system.
Okay.
So like a lot of big trending name right now is like ashwagandha. Would be considered an adaptogenic.
Okay.
So I drink more of that stuff now, just because I had a lot of burnout, like 5-7 years ago, even after college, to be honest, with playing tennis my whole life. So
your whole life, yeah.
Yeah, so maneuvered more into that way, and I feel so much better. Way better. With so much more energy and all that. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that with me, G. One thing that the podcast that you're doing, which I think that's awesome. Like when I saw that, I'm like, what Gira doing is so amazing because I can only imagine like you have dedicated a huge portion of your life was dedicated to tennis. Yeah. And I'm glad that it's so important because I've been watching movies and just you see all the stuff that all these kids or people gone through just with that kind of stuff. And so I think what you're doing is something that's needed. And your approach to it, I know, is going to be awesome. And which is going to lead us into that. G, will you go into your background of like literally your life? I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Like you played tennis almost your whole entire lifetime, as far as I know. But your life, where it started, all that.
Yeah. So I played tennis my whole life. I had 2 older brothers, so I wanted to do everything that they did. And because my oldest brother is like 5 years older than me, I was on the tennis court probably at like 2 years old, picking up tennis balls. And my dad being South African, sports is part of the culture in South Africa.
Okay.
And so we were heavy into all sports at a really young age. And so from there, I think at 4, I picked up a racket, started playing. By like 7 or 8, I played my first tournament.
Wow.
And by like 9-10 years old, I actually moved to to go to an academy to train. And, I wanted to play professional tennis. So I left home at a really young age.
Yeah.
And went down that pathway of competing nationally as a junior. I was number 1 in the girls 16s at like 15. And then after that, I started competing in juniors like internationally. And then from there, I went to South Carolina where I met you
Yeah.
and a bunch of other people and played #1 at South Carolina all 4 years. And then, um, and then from there went on to playing professionally on the circuit just about 15 months, and then I got injured.
Oh,
Did okay, not what I would have wanted to do, but
yeah.
I'm just blessed that I even had the opportunity, to be honest,
Yeah.
to be able to travel the world and play a sport that I love. Looking back on it, I put way too much pressure on myself, and but that's how it goes. And yeah, through that back injury, I got into coaching tennis.
Okay.
And at that time, I was so burnt out. I was like, I'm never going into the competitive part. And
Yeah.
I started at a country club. I think I did a season at a country club, and I was like, okay, I cannot coach any more old ladies
Oh, yeah.
that are like, and I don't mean to like old. I
No,
just
no, I know what you mean,
like,
G. I know what you mean. But you can
I
say it, though,
mean,
for everybody else. I know you personally, so I know. Like,
yeah. So just, I mean, their mentality is like brutal. So I
oh,
was like,
really?
yeah, it was worse and more competitive than a lot of other leagues. So
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm gonna go back to if I'm dealing with competitive, like older people, I think I might go back to the juniors. So
Okay.
yeah, I went into competitive juniors, and gosh, I got to work with so many amazing players who went to D3 schools, D1 schools, professional. I got to work with pros on the circuit as well.
Yeah.
So, and one of my best, I guess, players that I worked with, she was Stephanie Yakov. She was #1, basically 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s, and then went to Harvard this year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
And she's from the school of Gira?
So I was her personal travel coach.
Oh, that says a lot. I mean, yeah, that
Yeah.
says a lot. But
Yeah.
because even from meeting you in college, or even before I met you, I wanted to find out who you were. There was like this, not this mystery, but there was this you've always had like this, I would say, this edge about you. When you were playing, that like you walked with a certain, like, not cocky or anything like that, but you knew you were a badass, but you didn't have to tell anybody that you're a badass. And then me watching you play, because I watch you play a lot.
Yeah.
I go to the games, the matches, and I knew that I could tell that you're a badass, but you had that drive to you. It's like, you're this fierceness to it. I can't even, like, there's this cartoon, which it's called Dragon Ball Z. You're like Vegeta almost, but not with the level of, because you just had this like edge to you,
Yeah.
that came with you had like edge and competitiveness like that,
Yeah.
which I always appreciated, and I always thought was amazing about you. Where
Thank
did
you.
that from? Oh yeah, you're welcome. Do you think that you had that inherently? Because that's obviously in you. Because if you were already out there as a kid with your brothers, then and you've been playing at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
Your pretty much entire life.
Yeah.
How you, as switching over from that, me knowing you as that, me seeing you as that, and you performing at that top level at that one spot, and coaching, how does that translate now? Because that's almost, I can equivalent you basically to Tiger Woods is the best way I can do it. If I were to explain it to
Oh,
somebody, and it's me being on the outside, that's what I saw
thank
with my
you.
own eyes.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
no, go ahead. No,
I was like,
you
I'm
are.
no
That's what I
Tiger
saw.
Woods. I did not win any Grand Slam titles.
That's okay. I mean, but that drive that he had and that
Yeah.
focus, there's a video I saw the other day of some guy that before he ever won his Masters, he had that laser eye focus, just like you had that laser eye focus. How do you translate that now, even in the podcast, which I love you have, because there's so many, how do you, one, as a coach, translate that to a player? Because you know what you were capable of doing. You're probably able to see people's weaknesses, see their strengths as well. And then how does that transform as a coach? That's something I found interesting, because you played at a high level.
Yeah. Great question. I would say that not everyone has that, but as a coach, you're looking to pull out the best qualities out of a player.
Yeah.
So whatever that is for someone, really pulling out those strengths. For some people, like if you see someone just being more of a natural leader, wants to support a team, has that encouragement, like I'm going to pull that out,
Yeah.
even if it's not so much for like that inner drive. It can also be more of that like outer social drive for people too.
Yeah.
Being able to facilitate people who have more of that inner drive, I do think it is more coming from within, and then two, for sure, environment can definitely have an impact. I think for me, like having older brothers wanting to do what they did, like being quite a bit younger, like I always wanted to do what they did. And
Yeah.
so, being really young, you can't. So I think it's like, oh man, like
Yeah.
I want to be able to.
Yeah.
And so when you can start to see that in kids, like we have in the program, two young girls, I think like 9 and 7, you can definitely see the 9-year-old is competitive, but the 7-year-old just wants to beat her sister so bad. And yeah, it's so funny. Like it's great having that like sibling rivalry.
Rivalry.
Yeah, and it fuels that. I feel like it just really pulls out more out of someone being able to utilize. Of course, that can go into a negative
Yeah.
when it's not being cultivated in a positive way. So, but overall, I think as a coach, when you can see someone have that determination, not just because something gets hard,
Yeah.
just give up. They may not like that it's hard. They may, at a young age, throw a tantrum that it's hard,
Yeah.
but they're not actually giving up. And when you can see that and facilitate it more, that in itself is going to set someone up for success.
Yeah. Man, I got it. You're hitting me on so many things just as a coach perspective that I'm loving. 'Cause my dad was a coach. That's why
Yeah.
I'm just like getting your perspective on it.
Yeah.
Also, G, I love what you're doing with that. Also, along those lines, how do you? Because I think you said earlier, one of the things you do with your podcast is you talk about like the mental aspect of things. Like, because I assume that people suffer with all kinds of mental things that can destroy them. Even probably develop eating disorders. Even could be a thing too.
Yep.
How
Totally.
Yeah, I can only assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, or what would be your, not necessarily your approach, but we'll figure it out together. Basically, with people that have, because there's probably so many people that suffer with those issues of like mental stuff, eating, worried about the eating habits, things like that. What would be your approach, I guess, or what's the kind of approach you take? Because you're almost a therapist too, or psychologist, with trying to help them kind of like, hey, don't beat yourself up. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
It's gonna be gone before you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just for disclaimer purposes, I do have to put out there I'm not like a certified psychologist or
Oh
anything.
yeah. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not. I was saying that.
Yeah, I mean, just in today's atmosphere and
Yeah.
environment, like you have to put that out there. So anyone who hears what I'm saying, like I'm not a certified
Yeah.
psychologist. If you do have help, like go see a
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
I am a Reiki master, which does deal a lot with the emotions. It's more of a mind, body, spirit approach. But getting back to more of your question is really getting into self-awareness. That's really the root of starting with someone who has, I would say, more of an imbalance.
Okay.
I kind of put it like that. If they're being too hard on themselves, don't like their body, have body image issues. I know I did growing up. And really being able to start to have that self-awareness, you can see, where is this actually coming from? Because it's usually coming from either our environment,
Yeah.
our parents, whether certain dispute that happened within the family at a primarily usually at a young age.
Yeah.
We don't always realize how much at a young age it's still cycling through
Yeah.
and affecting us. So really starting with self-awareness and then being able to kind of like retract and seeing where that awareness is going. And through that, you can navigate. It really depends on the person. but overall, from self-awareness to having positive self-talk, it all plays a part. And then for me personally, really getting to the root
Uh-huh.
of the cause. And a lot of the time it does. Majority of the time it comes from our parents. And
Yeah.
not to say you can have a great dad, you can have a great mom, and something could have happened when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, and maybe they couldn't be there because they were busy at work.
Yeah.
But as a 7-year-old, how are you processing that? We're not taught how to process things.
No.
We're taught to push through, suck it up, keep going. And there's times that is needed,
Yeah.
especially in the lens through sports.
Mhm.
But there's also a other side to say, hey, let me see what I'm actually feeling, because I don't know.
Yeah.
At a young age, it can be very confusing, especially teenagers, all the hormones that they go through. It's a
Ooh.
really confusing time. So it can play a part. And getting back to, okay, what am I actually thinking? What am I actually feeling? And then how can I reframe moving forward?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gee, man, you're just dropping gems everywhere. Jim Gira. uh, what kind of actually, what did you study in college? That should also help with the disclaimer of you're not being a psychologist, which I know.
Yeah. So my major was exercise science, or also known as kinesiology. I'm also a personal trainer,
Yeah.
certified personal trainer. And yeah.
Well, that explains why you look like badass. Like you can, when AI takes over, I'm signing up for your team with the zombie apocalypse. I know I'll be good because you're able to, you'll be able to put everything together. We'll be in good hands.
Yeah.
Gee, a question I had to ask for you: what advice would you give for students? Because as one of the things we have here at the Buckle Up, I came up with the Buckle Up University.
Yeah.
Which is basically it's helping kids that are like 18 or so, they're 17, that are about to either go to college, go into the workforce, go into the military, and we're going through different things. You specifically, where you have something very special for the student athlete.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you have for the student athlete who is about to go, or how to prepare for that, all that you went through? If you wouldn't mind, just you had the floor or the court.
Yeah. I would say keep your options open. Like, I think for me, I had a lot of tunnel vision, and I was really focused on that one thing, which is great, but also it didn't open me up to other opportunities. And I think when you're at that age, you already think you know everything.
Yeah.
And I know I did. I thought I knew everything. And just keeping yourself open, and knowing that each step that you take is going to lead you where you're meant to go. And
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that wherever you are meant to go, you will. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, like, you will get there if you just keeping yourself open, supporting yourself. Ideally, it's great if you can have a support system, but not everyone can have that. So finding your own support system, if you don't have a background with a very supportive family or friends, and more than anything, keeping your circle small. There's a lot of people that actually don't want to see you succeed. So for me, I never told people my goals. I would say, I want to take this path, but I would never tell people my goals, because majority of the time people actually don't want to see you succeed, because that puts them in their place of not being able to do what you're doing. And it has to do a lot more with their own insecurities than with your own abilities and skills that you can actually achieve. So keep your circle small, keep your mind open, have a support system that you can trust, but and just take whatever your main goal is, take it bite size, because it's so much more than just trying to accomplish that goal. And all the people and the opportunities that you can have along the way is really what makes it fulfilling.
Man, damn. I'm speechless. Because what you said is, so in college I didn't have well, that's different. When you're like, in college I had a big group of friends, right? But I have noticed how, and you said this, keeping your circle small. Now in college, a little bit different because I had a lot of friends. But when I entered into the movie business, now that I can completely relate with you about saying, hey, keeping your goals. Now with certain stuff, I just talk my stuff because I have a point to prove, because I have been pushed so far and people
Yeah.
not helping me. Now it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I am going to go try to, almost used my mouth. I had to make sure I didn't cuss. You're able to cuss. I had to make sure I didn't. But it's about proving a point to, like, you know what? I can go do this. In fact, you all held me back so long that the fact that I am accomplishing things at an astronomical level, that I am going to go out and do this, because it's actually not even proven to them. It's actually proven to myself. Okay, hey, I'm going to set this goal right here. So I'm going to hit that note. Like I said, I was going to hit 10 million views. We're going to hit that joker tonight.
Yeah.
And so, but it was because some idiot in my business said something stupid to me. And I was like, okay, cool, bet. I'm going to go show you that, in fact, who I think I am.
Yeah.
Thank you, G. But my mom is the same way as you, where mom was like, hey, don't tell everybody everything that you plan on doing. And she was right, because it's so sad, G. I was raised by two parents who I love to death, who showed me such the good in life.
Yeah.
That and we're always like upfront with people, always right on the right end of everything, that I didn't know the evil world that was around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had one of my best friends came on here, Dave Ballman, Major Dave Ballman, who went to University of South Carolina. He's like, Brandon, you're loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
And when he said that truly, I was like, damn, he's right. Like I've made sacrifices for my friends that they have not made for me.
Yep.
And it's sad to see. And then even when people were all for me, G, before I started doing well.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing, when I was booking stuff, I'd see comments here, or they make little, maybe they're called microaggressions. That might be the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would say little things, and like it didn't register to me at first, but I started like, I'm like, wait a minute, this person never really saying anything positive. The more I'm looking at it, this person's always saying something negative about every time I'm doing something. And then that's when I was like, wow. And so I had like a coming to Jesus with a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, you know what, man? I don't actually need anything from you.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I like, even when I was asking people to come on the podcast, that's when I started seeing a lot of stuff. That's what was the biggest shocker of it all.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't need anything from you. Oh, what do you need? I don't need a single thing from you, because like God's given me everything that I have. We're doing successful without you. I'm giving you an opportunity to be something because of who you used to be to me. It's not so much how you are now, because I'm seeing a different side of you that I'm like, it's like friends have been getting cut off. Like it's literally, we started at like 15. We're down. The number is down.
Well, I always tell people, because what you're going through with girls, I dealt with my whole life, because girls are super, super catty, super
really?
gossipy. And when you're in a competitive sphere, it's like you think they're your friend, and then you beat them, and now you're not. Guys are usually a lot better at that.
Yeah.
But really, and I would say as I got older, I also went through something similar with you. As I went through different phases of, getting out of tennis for like 5 years because of a back injury, and really got to see people through a different lens, like you're talking about. And I really finally just like came to terms with, like, it has to be an equal energy. Like if I'm giving out a certain level of energy, they also need to contribute that energy. It doesn't need to be the same of like what you're doing and what they're doing, but it does need a match. And this isn't like, oh, I need to match someone's energy to match mine. It's not like in a competitive way. It's like, I'm putting out energy. I need you to like give the same energy that I'm giving out. Otherwise, it's just not equal anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not in alignment for that friendship. And I would also say too, I've had friends where I've noticed like, okay, this is not cool. But now I know where you stand. Doesn't mean I don't have to be friends with you. It just knows like I know where you're at, and I'm going to keep you at bay, and no one else needs to know that except me, and that's okay.
I respect that. I respect that a lot. Look at you. Like I needed Coach Gira to tell me this stuff before I went through it myself. It has been the craziest thing to see. It's people that we're even mutual friends with, which is or that there's friends with me. It's just been a wild thing. Like,
Yeah,
and heartbreaking too.
for sure. I'm sure.
But I'm glad that you're giving the audience, because we have a huge demographic. We have ages 13 to 54 on lock in the United States.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
thank you, G. But
Yeah.
you're giving out sound advice. Like, it's because you had more experience in that, I guess, that I didn't see, because you were seeing that on a constant level in your competitions.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing that on that kind of level until it became a thing. And then that's where it's now my business, that's a different story. The movie business, that's a different story. In fact,
Oh,
that
I'm
just makes
sure.
me laugh, because that's been the funniest thing in itself. But so I'm not worried about them, but it was just like the friends part that really, set me back. Gee,
Yeah.
one thing I also wanted to say was, so with you giving advice with that, now you said that you had an injury. So you went from being your stud, like, you were her. When you had that injury, what kind of advice would you give for someone like injuries and anything, especially your back, which you need that completely, like, that's changing up your whole entire life. The identity that you had, like, how do you get someone to even bounce back that's either trying to come back from injury or someone that has gone through something that has been life changing like that?
Yeah. So I'm probably going to give a little bit different approach than what most people say. There's usually a deeper reason for your body breaking down. There's usually some either inflammation, a chemical imbalance, or in a lot of sports cases, overuse.
Yeah.
And so at some point when you are abusing your body, especially in the sports sphere, it's going to break down. It's a matter of time. It's not when, it's just a matter of time of,
Yeah.
when that will happen. And I did not know how to recover. That was a huge thing. I was great at pushing myself. Like you said, I had that determination.
Yeah.
And that was easy for me. The hard thing was to recover, and I didn't know how to do that. And that was a physical recovery and a mental recovery. I didn't know. I always had to be active. I didn't know how to just sit still and learn to be with myself of why my body is burnt out. And I would say if you are in those lines, stop looking at the quick fix, because you're not going to get to the root cause of the situation of why something keeps happening.
Yeah.
There's a bigger picture, and I'm a firm believer in God. Just, I know you are too.
Yeah.
God's trying to show us something so much more, and sometimes it is happening through our body, and our body is really smart. Our body knows how to adapt. I remember, oh my gosh, my grandma, she's passed away now many years ago, and she was in the hospital, and she had what do you call the
Alzheimer's or anything?
no, the S shape with your back,
S curve?
yeah, no, what is it called?
You got me at a loss, G.
I can't think of it. Anyways, like her spine had moved. I can't think of the word. And her organs had basically like moved and formed around her spine so it could still work.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
we didn't know that was happening until she was in the hospital, and they had to put like a tube down her throat to like feed her, but then they couldn't because of her spine, all that stuff, right? But my point in saying that is your body knows what to do, and that's why you are having symptoms for it, because it is literally doing the best that it can with where you're at and what you're going through, and it's learning to pay attention. So a really like easy thing would be if you all of a sudden drink Coke and you don't know, you're feeling nauseous or your stomach has discomfort. Guess what? It probably came from the Coke. It's not all of a sudden like it just showed up. There's a reason why it's there and it's happening. So getting more to the root cause of what's actually happening, and that goes more into the self-awareness. Are you aware of what's going on with your body? And I wasn't as aware until I finally took time off and I started sitting with myself. And that's really hard for people. A lot of people actually don't like themselves. And they don't want to sit with themselves because it's uncomfortable, but that is actually where the magic happens. For me, whether it's praying to God or meditating and listening to God, or
Yeah.
meditating and having some type of mantra or chant that is beyond powerful, that you can start to create a greater awareness, because you're taking time for yourself now, and you're not just pushing yourself and being in this hustle environment that we are in America. A lot of it.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Man, gee, it's interesting you said the thing about the mantra. I always say clear eyes, full hearts can't lose.
Yes.
And that I started that whenever I started auditioning in Los Angeles and New York and all the places around the United States. I always said that because that helped me. I always did it before. I Snapchat. I recorded all my interview, all my auditions. I recorded every single one when back when they in person. I have like 10 years of this on camera. But
Wow.
I always said that clear eyes, full hearts can't lose, because to my Snapchat fam is what I call them, is because I wanted them to see that I wasn't scared about what I was going to go do. And even though I
Yeah.
had just memorized the dialogue right before walking in, which is not the best thing to do, but I did that anyway, it always helped me get focused on that. Like, it's what set me. It was my game time. Like, that was the thing that helped me to get focused with that. So
Yeah.
I love what you're, yeah. And you're like the queen of it, I would say. Just like, I'm just thinking about your laser-eyed focus that I remember seeing you so much with throughout college.
Yeah.
And now, and I understand, like I understand why you had that, or why the way I understand so much more about you now.
Yeah.
And even with you saying some people don't like this. I was literally, I don't think I've ever said this to any girl or any of my friends outside of here, but I've been insecure my whole entire lifetime because of the fat kid growing up the whole entire time.
Yeah.
Up until I stripped for Betty White, I was insecure. So that was in 2016. The first time I wasn't insecure is when I stripped for Betty White in front of that audience. I've never felt more confident in my lifetime than in that moment. And I have been that person since that day. My confidence is like where it needs to be.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, thank you, G. But I think it might be, I don't think it's called imposter syndrome because my cousin was on here talking, but I was just insecure. I didn't feel like I was in my own body. So I can only imagine how many people in college felt that, because I said that means I was insecure the whole entire time I was in college, not comfortable in myself. Like, I just even think about everything I would do. But you saying that people aren't comfortable in their bodies, or that's not the word. You do something different.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you're right. Most people don't like themselves.
Yeah,
Most people aren't comfortable with their body or with their thoughts. So either one, and they both are somewhat similar. Like, they're more connected than people realize, is what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing I want to touch on, which I absolutely love this about you. I didn't know this. Oh, I knew what you were doing, but what you're doing at the beginning, what you said, my family's always been about volunteering. I volunteered my whole entire life with the wheelchair basketball league in LA for 10 years. And
I
then,
remember that.
Yeah, I love that a lot. Didn't you come with me to a?
I think so. Maybe once. Yeah.
Yeah, you did come with me. I thought, I guess you did. And then my parents did the Ronald McDonald House, and I was always with them. Yeah. I love the fact that you guys have started this thing for, sometimes people lack the opportunity or the environment, and that you're with this, we named them that foundation.
Serve the Future.
Yeah. Tell us about Serve the Future. I love that. Like, that makes me feel so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Leslie Banks started it 3 years ago. And really, I mean, tennis is really one of those sports where you need money. Like, you just do. It's one of those sports that tends to be catered to the upper class, with people who have money. And really, the whole mission is to bring it to people who don't have those resources, but they still have a chance to learn tennis and play. And for those, if they do really want to commit, they could go to college. You just have to put the time and hours into it. So really bringing it to people who would never have that opportunity otherwise, because their family do not have the resources. And moving tennis, or I would say not moving it, but just opening it up more to other people, to be like, one, it's great for a community, it's great for socializing, and it is the healthiest sport in the world. This isn't me saying it. This is like research, okay?
Yeah, okay. I love it.
We are now known as the healthiest sport in the world. So,
good.
Yeah. So, for nowadays, a lot of Americans aren't healthy. So it's encouraging kids to also get out and move, and not just be playing video games at home all day. Yeah. So encouraging that they get a ton of health benefits. I mean, there's been people who have joined the program and they found their boyfriend and girlfriend there.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great community, and the owner, she's all about community, and I love that. I definitely feel a greater community being there and
Yeah.
working with that. And I definitely miss that. I definitely missed having that community and being around like-minded people through
Yeah.
the sport of tennis and the love for it.
Yeah. I love that. And then Gira, I mean, I would love to, I mean, if I have this platform, this as big as it is, I'd love to have, if Leslie's interested in it, please let her know that
Yeah.
she can either contact me or
Yeah.
I can write her. And I'd love to have her on.
Oh, she would love it. I will definitely give her your contact.
Oh, please do. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that'd be great.
If you ever come to Phoenix, let me know. We'd love for you to come out and speak to the kids. We're getting
Count it done.
yeah, more
Count
and
it.
more people to come out and speak to them. So yeah, whenever I know you come through every so often.
Yeah.
So anytime you do, let me know, and we'd love for you to speak to the kids too. So yeah.
You are talking my language. I would absolutely love to do that because I don't think I've ever told you this. Some people might know it, but Gira, I should be there either in July. Actually, I should be there in either August or September. So actually, because I'm trying to go while doing pull season because of scars to pull, my whole thing. So I will be back. I'll be in Scottsdale, but Phoenix is right there. So I will let you know when I'm coming. And that would be my absolute honor to do. In fact, you guys be doing me a favor because I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's so important to do that. And a couple years ago, I didn't even think before I am where I'm now, but I still do it. I've done it for years. A friend of mine who worked at an underprivileged school in LA, her name was, can't remember her name right now. Oh my gosh, Miss Gabby. She's like, Brandon, would you mind coming and talking to the school? Because we have these kids here in this, I think it's John F. Kennedy Elementary School in Los Angeles, Hawthorne, where most of the kids, she's like, Brandon, would you mind coming? There's some kids I see that are at risk or at youth. Most of their parents, or at least they don't have a male figure in the home, or they're in prison. Those were the two things that she said about those students.
Yeah.
And she thought that if I could come there, and I grew up with the two family members, my dad and my mom, until I lost my dad to cancer. But they were always, thank you, G. Yeah, it was devastating. But going into that school, I went there and I talked several times. I end up talking to all their classes. But it's something that I loved, and it's something that is so important because what I saw with my own eyes and what Gabby was saying, what you're doing with your group is, if people just knew that there was a positive person out there that cares, how different their life can turn out. Those kids, she said, Brandon, they completely turned it around in that school. The boys were in there, and it was beautiful. There was Hispanic kids and Black kids just in that school specifically.
Yeah.
And but I've talked, and I do that in schools in New York and all around the United States now. But I love doing it because it's so important, because you never know, that little message could be that thing that sparks. They'll let them know it's going to be okay, because a lot of people do grow up in bad environments or bad stuff at house, and it's just that one. It's something so small to do, but it's such a big deal. So I'm all for it. You got me signed up, man. Whenever I know I'm coming, not to call you man. Whenever I'm coming, I'll let you know.
I don't care.
Okay, yeah, but I just think and it's so great that they have you, because your person has played. You're showing them example of a person that can go to college and do this.
Yeah.
Your school can be paid for.
Yeah.
And so I think that if they don't know it, you're a blessing to them.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're doing that. And then, how did you randomly get started up with that?
Serve the future.
Yeah, you might have already said it, but
yeah. Gosh, talk about just a divine order, divine timing. I was doing a workshop for my spiritual business, actually. And I was giving a meditation, and one of the girls who was there, she was a social media marketer for the company that I was doing it at.
Okay.
And she was also at the time working for Serve the Future, also doing social media marketing.
Okay.
And you don't meet too many people in the spiritual industry who are into sports, let alone tennis.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God. And she was like, oh my God.
Kindred souls.
Yeah. And I was telling her how I wanted to get back in tennis. I just wasn't sure what that looked like. And she was like, well, I work at a Serve the Future, a nonprofit, come check it out. And so I did. And from there, it all fell into place, and
Okay.
I've been working there for a year now. June was when I started, and yeah.
Okay. Man, I think that's absolutely amazing. I think, like I have several best friends that live in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I don't know if they play golf or not. If any of those students play golf, one of my friends who I got to come out there to do his podcast actually in the place, he started a thing called Swing Shift. And
Okay.
I know Gabe Lacrosse is his name. Gabe's an amazing man. One of my best friends, Carter, lives there too. My buddy Christian Anthony, he lives there part time. Brian, I have a lot of guy friends there that I know would be happy to probably get involved with this, or at least I think Brian, if the students ever want to come to Swing Shift, that's something I think that Gabe would do. So
Okay.
let me know about that because I can
Yeah.
contact Gabe. Gabe, it's a beautiful place where you teach golf and everything, and that's something that I know Gabe. He's that kind of man that he would definitely let
Yeah.
them come in there and
Yeah.
help out that place. So I think that's amazing. So you
Yeah.
mentioned it, so I want to talk about it. Your spiritual business.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how I got into my spiritual business was actually through my back. I was dealing with a debilitating back injury. To get scientific, I guess I have a grade 3 fracture in my L4, and also called a spondy. And so that's also what started for me when I was playing. And I had been dealing with it at the time for like on and off for 10 years. And it got to the point where I couldn't get out of bed, and I was like 30 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a problem. Like, I'm 30 years old and I can't get out of bed to put on my clothes.
Yeah.
Like, there's something seriously wrong here. And so it got worse. It got worse. And I went to, I did everything under the sun. I went to a doctor. I went to physical therapy. I did acupuncture. I went to a chiropractor. Like, you name it, I did everything. And I wasn't willing to do surgery because I haven't heard too many people have great positive outcomes from back surgery.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe the science has changed now, but back then it was not very assuring that like it was going to be a positive outcome.
Yeah.
And so I was not willing to go that route, and I wanted to just explore other options. I'm a firm believer that we live in an infinite universe. And so I was like, there has to be something out there. I just haven't found it.
Mhm.
And through that journey, kind of going down that rabbit hole, is what led me to Reiki. And Reiki is what helped with my back. It's a form of energy work that incorporates the mind, body, and spirit. And so that is literally what helped my back. Otherwise, I never had heard of Reiki before then.
Yeah.
Like it was all new. I had no idea. I was like, what is this? And but at that point, I was willing to try and do anything because I was in so much pain. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, it really, I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100%, but I can move. I can play tennis now. I can do things comfortably without being in excruciating pain. And that really was the change of my life and moving in that direction. And it healed a lot of other emotional wounds that I had. Like I said, body image. I actually, even though I was super fit, super athletic, I had a lot of body image issues at a really young age. And I think a lot of girls do. And I think when it comes to sports, even more so, because we're constantly being critiqued, even though it's in a positive way. Like, and it can be in a negative way. And my factor, I did have coaches tell me I had to lose weight. And I was like, a size 2.
Yeah, you were as perfect could get.
I mean, yeah, it was crazy, but I literally had coaches tell me that like and I was young. I was like, I think one of the first coaches I had, like jokingly, but at 14,
but still,
you can't do this to like whoever this is. Whoever listens to this, if you're a brother, a dad, a parent, a mom, like don't tell a teenage girl that she's fat. Like just don't do it. So
you heard it there first.
Even if it's a joke, like don't tell a teenage girl. Like wait till her hormones have like she's gone through puberty and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you could be like, hey, for health reasons, maybe you want to lose weight, but don't tell a teenager to do that because it will mess her up. Really? And so that was kind of the beginning. And then I had another coach tell me, I was just very muscular at that time. And in tennis, until Serena came out and a couple others, the typical body type in tennis was very like slender, almost model like. There wasn't a lot of muscle, and I was very muscular. And so I had a coach also tell me like I needed to lose weight, and I didn't. Yeah. So
What a dumbass. Sorry. Some things piss me off from time to time, and that's one of them. Actually,
yeah.
both of those things are.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but it was also a place for me to heal and work on and work through that insecurity that now looking back, I'm grateful for. I think a lot of people, we shy away from our insecurities, but it is our insecurities that usually are the blessing that makes us more empowered and more courageous to do the things that we are meant to do here. And so I am grateful. I'm glad for those coaches telling me that, because later on I got to see myself in a completely different way that I never would have.
Yeah. Man, G, honestly, you make me want to go tackle the world now, because I'm so hyped after this conversation. Like, you've been a spiritual blessing to me today.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the name of you might have already said about, have you repeat it just in case, of your spiritual business? What was that?
So my spiritual business is actually me, girascofield.com. That's the brand. And so, yeah, it's online also. So yeah, girascofield.com.
Okay. All right. Well, and then, that's your Instagram handle too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then for my podcast, HTP podcast, Holistic Tennis Performance.
That is a very long name. Okay, let's do it again. Say it one more time, G.
So it's called HTP Podcast, which stands for Holistic Tennis Performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will add that, because actually I was looking at the one with you and the girl you had on the other day. I enjoyed it. That's why I was like, oh man, like G would be perfect. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna get a follow from. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna have you text all that to me too.
Cool.
G, yeah, of course. That way I can put it out there. G, I thank you so much for your time today. I know my mom's gonna want to talk to you next. I'll just see what your schedule is, because I know her back was one of the ones that was messed up too.
Okay.
So I know she's gonna want to have so many questions for you, and I thank you so much for your time today. Like, G, you've been amazing, and it's really good to see you.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Outside of this, I was curious. I guess off recording, more for your like questions I want to ask you with your podcast. Do you like edit your podcast, or like?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing about me is I am whatever question you can ask me, you can ask me. If you want to ask stuff off, you can ask it off too. It's both. Okay. I don't edit at all. I always tell people, because I'm a real no bullshit. There we go. Swear jar. Because I'm a weird, like a real, like I like it. I always keep it 100. Yeah. I don't edit it or anything like that. I basically keep it. But I'll give you. I'll retransfer you the whole entire file so you can have. Okay. But usually with my podcast, I don't edit them. The only thing I do is I'm only. Instagram made me into a content creator a while ago. So I keep it. Only time I have it shorter is just I have like 3 minutes max I can do.
Yeah.
So I might just take like the 3 minutes of that and then put it there, and then we'll release it with the marketing time. The best times to release your stuff is between 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Lunch. 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, doing a lunch hour. So for the East Coast, it's 11 to 3. Yeah. And then on the West Coast, it's 11 to 3. Okay. Because we're doing worldwide, I'm actually doing England's time as well. I'm doing Sydney, Australia's time. I'm doing South Africa, and there's one more. But I literally, I'm up all the time, because I'm literally always getting it at those time frames. And it's been working. That's how I've been able to build so much.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And what platforms are you on?
So with Buzzsprout, I'm using Buzzsprout for my they're the ones I use to distribute everything. So we're on 20 podcast stations. So literally I upload everything to Buzzsprout, and Buzzsprout takes that, they send it to Spotify. I don't even know the full list. I'm gonna have to send it to you, G. Yeah. But they put it on Spotify, they put it on Apple Podcasts, they put it on YouTube automatically. It's literally 20 stations.
Wow.
So I upload it up there, and then they send out the 20 stations, and it's that literally 20. Wow. Like iHeartRadio is even one of them that it's on. Okay. So that's helping with that. And then I use my social media. So I'm using all of it. So I have the Instagram part, and I'm having the YouTube, and then I have the Buzzsprout. Plus I have a built-in fan base from the movie stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're doing this. Really.
Yeah.
I'm so happy when you told me. I was like, I feel like you've been doing a podcast before podcasts were even a podcast.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It just took me forever to like finally put
Yeah.
that together.
Yeah.
But because I'm looking at some of the stuff, I looked at old video. I'm like, wait a minute, I was already doing this.
Yeah.
So
Like you were doing a podcast before a podcast was a podcast.
yeah, but yeah, no, I'm glad I'm doing it too. I'm trying to use with the fame that I do have, and I realize I have some of it.
Yeah.
Is I'm using that to help out other people because that's a big thing to me, and try and make this world a better place because there's so much negative stuff out there. If I
Yeah.
can be positive or help someone with knowledge that I didn't have going,
Yeah.
then that's why God put me here.
Yeah. I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing, Brandon. I'm so
Well,
happy
yeah.
for you.
Thank you, G. I'm happy for you
Yeah.
too. I saw what you were doing. I'm like, wait a minute, you had me hooked with yours. I'm like, I love this. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you're doing it too. And
Thank
I
you.
will 100%, when I know I'm coming, I will 100% see those kids every single time I'm in town if they have the time.
We'd love it.
Yeah. You can count me in. I'm a man of my word.
Okay.
All right, G. Well, look, thank you so much. I'll actually have
Yes.
this back to you in like 6 hours.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then send me what picture you want to use for your profile thing so I have it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you a headshot.
All right. That sounds good,
Okay.
sweetie. Well,
All
take
right.
care, G. Thank you so much for coming on. We always give
Yes.
everyone a round of applause. Usually mom's on here, so I'm like, I forgot mom wasn't here. All right, G. I'll talk to you later, my dear.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Great seeing you too.
Yeah, you too.
Let me see. Let me cancel this out first, G. And if you have anything else to say, I'll